When we put in our power base, we had it inspected, and the inspector came out here and said, that is a fine looking power base. Everything looks good. He even put a little sticker on there. Well, I thought that gave us the go-ahead to bury, and I buried it. And then the next day they said, oh, by the way, there is one thing. They told me that I put the conduit too close to the pole and it needed to be back 4 inches. So Jack has been digging all day.
Well, I was looking at that earlier too.
Half a day to cut this out. So we're getting ready to do the glue up. Okay, you ready? Yep. Go. You like it? Mm-hmm. All right. Jack's also working on a little water leak here we had that developed. We're not really sure why. So we've got some fittings coming, and we'll double check that, get that so it's not leaking, and then re-backfill it. My unfinished project is putting the 30, I got a 30 amp 240 and a 50 amp 240 plug, exterior plug that I want to put here, because this is going to be a place that we could park an RV or have guests and they could plug in and have good power. So I've got two 110s on the back that I'll bring around the front that my electrician just temporarily put on the back because I didn't have this crossbar in, but I'll put that in, and then we'll have a clean mount. We're gonna put that. Everything's getting so crowded here. I guess we'll put those, I guess we'll put them here. I'm just thinking out loud here about what we're gonna probably end up doing. Here is the 50 amp 240, here's the 30 amp 240, and they need to feed off of this panel here. So those will probably go, it'll be down here. We probably put those here, and then the 240 on the other side of the 2-inch. So we'll let in this cross piece at the 12-inch mark on the posts. And of course, we're gonna let these 2x6s into the 6x6 because, well, we ain't no scrubs around here. Good morning, beloved. It is Monday morning. We are back at it. I guess it was Friday, we notched out for the power cross brace there. I got the electrician coming today, and he wants to finish up the plug. So I used my Gaokucho. These are the Gaokucho Japanese saws, and it worked fine. It was not a problem. I thought on this one, our last one, we would try the timber saw. I think maybe this might be a little bit better. This is precision work. It's a little hard to do sideways like this, but well, this is where we're at here. You're gonna notice the video in the second half of this clip is gonna look a lot different as I'm using my phone today. I'm gonna use my phone this week, and let me know what you think. Normally I use the cinema camera, which, you know, once you see the dynamic range of a cinema camera and how beautiful it is, you can't unsee it, and I find it difficult to go back to use my phones because that dynamic range is just not there, and the color always looks a little off. But man, the convenience of having the small package is awfully nice. Oh, I got to talking there and got off my mark. Do you guys put on as much weight in the wintertime as I do? Man, I'm like a bear. I get fat and happy. I don't do too much in the wintertime, and then I've got my work cut out for me in the spring. fits pretty good. Let's drill some pilot holes and we'll put our timber screws in. To secure that crossbar, we'll be using these timber screws. I really like these timber screws. I started using them a few years ago. Before it, I would always use like those old school lag screws, and then these came out, and they're far superior. They don't split the wood. I think they even hold harder, tighter, and they're just amazing. Well, that feels good to get that done. That was one of those projects that was weighing on my mind, you know, those little things that build up. Okay, let's take a look at our electrical, which I have right here. And I'll show you what we're planning. Yeah, this is the 50. These are going to mount on this crossbar. So we can have a 50, a 30, and then this one's already in, and this is the 110. This is two 30 amp 110s right there on their own circuits, so individual. So that's quite a bit of power right there. So this will move around to the front. Now we just need to mount these boxes. I'm going to go ahead and mount these boxes, but I'm going to have the electrician wire everything up. Why? Can I not do it myself? Of course I can do it myself. But every time I do electrical myself, you guys call me into the state and try to get me in trouble. I'm on a first name basis with the head electrical inspector. So I do what I can do, and then the rest I have someone else do it, because that way I don't get in trouble. Let's see if we have some suitable screws for those boxes. Goodness, all you Canadians giving me grief about not using Robertson. So I decided to use Robertson, and I see they're no good either. Still better than Phillips though. All right, gentlemen, that is it for us. I'll put the parts back in there for the Sparky. All right, beloved, that is it for us. We are 100% done. We'll have that electrician bring that box around to the front, and we will have, we'll be in business. All right, so my manservant, Mr. Jiraiya, is just finishing up putting the 1-inch hydrant. That's a big one, right up there off the corner. We extended the main all the way up there so that we have a really high volume yard hydrant for wildland fire suppression. Looks like Mr. Jiraiya is just about ready to set that 1-inch hydrant right off the corner of the building. He should have it inside. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, this is a big boy right here. I've never put one in this big. Even the whole mechanism on the top is different. It's special order to get a 1-inch. 3/4 are kind of the industry standard, but we'll do a volume test as soon as he gets that hooked up. The pressure should be the same, but the volume should be increased. I had the electrician add this panel on the power base here so that we could have the circuit breakers on the outside and not in the house. So if someone throws a circuit or trips a breaker, I don't want to have to go into the house and figure that out to get into the panel. They can simply open it up right here and fix it. Actually, these are 20s. These are supposed to be 30s, so I'm going to have him switch those out. Well, beloved, that's about all the time I have for today. It's only 2 o'clock, but Mrs. W and Jack are heading out to a debate competition, and I've got the baby. You know, the Almighty spoke to me last week. And when I say, when people say the Almighty speaks to them, it's not always an audible voice. You know, you can say things like that, and people think you're crazy because they've never heard a booming audible voice from God, and I don't know that I have either. But that doesn't mean he doesn't exist. God speaks to us in many and various ways. It could be through YouTube videos, could be through your wife, spouse, your children. Sometimes the closest people to God are the children, and we disregard them, thinking that they don't have anything to offer, when it's them that are closer to the truth and the Almighty that we are, but we remove them from that. But that's the human condition, isn't it? But what I heard, what I was impressed by, what God spoke to me was that don't forget that when you get busy and you see children as, I'm not going to say see them as a nuisance, but you have to choose what you're going to do. Am I going to choose work, or am I going to choose time? That's the two choices that we have. And in this country, which is what I can speak to, men have kind of been given a pass. If you're always working and you're providing resources, you are given a pass where maybe you don't have to spend as much time, and the responsibility of raising the kids oftentimes falls on your tradcon. What I was really impressed with is what God spoke to me and reminded me of was this, is that don't forget that this life is your child's childhood that you're directly responsible for. How they feel about it and what their experience was is directly a result of how much effort and time you put into it. And man, I'll tell you, that really rocked me to my core, because I've been guilty of putting work and the burden of just getting by, paying the bills, which is tremendous for all of us. We're all, we all struggle. It's a constant drain. It's a constant threat, especially if you're self-employed. You never have peace. Your mind is always going. You're always thinking. I'm not going to say that you're always worrying, but it's always on your mind. You're always, because if you don't make it happen, it ain't going to happen. No one's going to feed you and bring food to your house. You have to make it happen, or it doesn't happen. So that's always it's a constant pressure upon a man. If you've not had your own business, you may not understand that, or maybe just don't know what I'm talking about. But point being, I'm leaving today at 2 because I'm going to go spend the rest of the day with my daughter and do whatever she wants to do. So may God bless you and your families. Please keep us in your prayers, and we'll see you all on the next video.